Okay, last time we were here, we finished up our navigation. Now we're going to be working on the header. So let's go ahead and get that started. One of the first things we're going to do is come in here and we're going to say header. And then we'll say display flex. Okay, I'm going to do file, save all, and refresh. So just like before, when we're displaying a flex, it's going to move these side by side, and you can see it's all left aligned. What we really want to have is this pizza show up here and have this one go over here. I think that's what we want to have, right? Yes. So that's going to go to the right. The other one's going to go left. We were doing that with floats at one time, but Flexbox makes that a lot easier. What we're going to do is we're going to justify content. Oops. And we're going to do space between. We'll do file, save all. It's going to take all the extra space on the right and divvy it up between those two. So when I refresh, you can see now it's moved off to the right. And now we just need to go ahead and format the header and the H1. Okay, first let's go ahead and add some padding, because everything is touching the sides there, so we'll do padding. Oops, just padding. And what we want to do is we want to have 0 padding up and down, because it already has some space there, and we'll do 10 pixels left to right. File, save all, and then refresh. And you can see that moved away. Nice. Alright, now we're going to work on the H1. So H1, actually, should be header H1 if we're going to be specific about it. There's only one H1 on the page, so we could just use H1, but it's always best to be as specific as possible when you're working with HTML and CSS. Alright, so one of the things we're going to do is change the color of the text. So we're going to do color, and it's going to be red, but we don't use the word red like it shows in there. We're going to use the 255.00. Okay, so the colors go red, green, blue. 255, it goes from 0 to 255, and we want all red, no green, no blue. We'll do file, save all, and refresh. And there it is, all red text. The other thing we want to do is increase the font size, because it's kind of tiny sitting over there. And we're going to use a different type of measurement. We're going to say 5VW. And what that is vertical, the viewport width. So as far as this is going from one side to the other, we want this to be the size of 5% of that. And that means it's going to grow and shrink depending on the size of the screen. So let's do file and save all and refresh. Boom. So it's big here, but it'll get smaller and smaller and smaller as we get in. And of course, we won't want to have that huge size when we got a small screen, but we'd like to have a nice big size when we have a big screen. So using VWs and VHs, so viewport width or viewport height are two ways of using the measurement of the screen to determine what we're going to use. Okay, let's go ahead and add some space. So we're going to add some padding, and that padding is going to be 10 pixels all the way around. And so we'll do file, save all, and refresh. You see that moved it around. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a border on it. So border, and for that we want it to be 3 pixels, solid, and black. We could use RPG 000, but this is a standard in web development, just using the word black. So I'm going to do that here. Save all and refresh. Okay, so there's that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put a box shadow on there. So I'll do box shadow, and we're going to do 10 pixels by 10 pixels, and we want to blur it with red. So I could type red, but I'm going to do the RGB, and that's going to be 255 0 0. Using the color, the name red is not standard procedure, like using the word black. Nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and add some other type of padding. So right now it's doing 10 pixels, and what we want to do is we want to do top 0, right 20, bottom 0, and left 10. So let's go ahead and do that. So padding here, instead of just being 10 pixels, it is going to be 0 pixels, and that's the top. The next one is going to be 20 pixels, and that's the right side, because you can see it's touching on that right-hand side there. And then the next one is going to be 0, because we don't want any more padding on the bottom. And then 10 pixels on the left-hand side. So we'll do File, Save All, and Refresh. And there we go. Okay, better. That did move it away from the side. And that's because padding won't do that. Let's go ahead and do margin right, 10 pixels. And we'll do File, Save All, and then Refresh. And there you go. Alright, that looks a little bit more like the picture. Looks like there should be more padding. Yeah, good enough. And you can see again, this is going to shrink depending on how large our box is going to be. Okay. And that's it for this video.